These 10 foods lower blood sugar naturally and fast. If you're over 60 and your blood sugar is rising even just a little, this message is for you. Because the truth is, most people don't feel diabetes coming. It's silent. It creeps in slowly, a little more belly fat, more fatigue after lunch, maybe blurry vision here and there. And one day, your doctor says, you need to go on medication. But what if you could turn that story around starting today? I've seen hundreds of older adults quietly reverse their blood sugar numbers, not with gimmicks, not with painful diets, but by adding powerful, healing foods to their plates. Foods that talk to your metabolism, foods that soothe your pancreas, calm inflammation, and help your body become more insulin sensitive again. And the best part, these foods are not only natural, they're delicious, affordable, and already in your local store. All you need is a little guidance and a gentle nudge in the right direction. So stay with me. In this video, we'll explore the top natural foods to lower blood sugar after 60 and how to use them in ways that truly work. And if you find value in what you're learning, feel free to gently tap that subscribe button. It helps more seniors like you discover simple tools to reclaim energy, freedom, and health without fear. Section 1. The blood sugar trap after 60 and why most people miss it. Here's the truth no one talks about enough by the time most people are diagnosed with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. The damage is already well underway, and it didn't start with donuts or dessert. It started with slow, silent shifts in the body, especially after 60. As we age, several things begin to work against us. Our metabolism slows. Our muscle mass gradually decreases unless we actively preserve it. Our pancreas, which produces insulin, becomes less efficient. Our cells grow less responsive to insulin signals, a condition known as insulin resistance. And for many, the first sign isn't a lab test, it's brain fog, or constant hunger, or a stubborn 10 pounds that won't go away, no matter how little you eat. According to data from the CDC, over 48% of Americans over age 65 have prediabetes, and 80% of them don't even know it. That means millions of seniors are walking around with elevated blood sugar, unaware that their body is fighting a daily internal battle, a battle that, if ignored, leads to nerve damage, vision loss, kidney strain, heart disease, and eventually full-blown diabetes. But what's most tragic is this: most of it is preventable. The standard medical model waits for your numbers to get worse. But what if you could catch this early? What if you could respond before medications became necessary? I've seen firsthand what happens when people make even small changes to how they eat. One woman in her late 60s told me, "I thought I had no control over my numbers. Then I swapped out my morning cereal for steel-cut oats with cinnamon and chia. Within 2 weeks, I had more energy than I'd felt in years." That's not a miracle. That's biology working with your body, not against it. When blood sugar spikes repeatedly, insulin floods your system again and again. Over time, the body begins to tune out insulin signal, just like we tune out a smoke alarm that keeps going off for no reason. That's insulin resistance. It becomes harder for sugar to enter your cells, so it lingers in your blood and the problems snowball from there. Now, you might be wondering, where do I even begin if my body is changing and the old rules no longer work? What does work? That's exactly where the power of healing foods comes in. But not just any food. The right foods. Foods that reduce inflammation, stabilize energy, and help your body use insulin more effectively, not by force, but by nourishment. And as we move forward, I'll show you exactly what those are. You don't need a new diet. You need new allies on your plate. Let's start with one of the most underrated over-the-counter natural tools, cinnamon, a spice that's not just tasty, but has actual proven metabolic effects. And it might already be in your kitchen drawer. Section 2. Cinnamon, a quiet spice with powerful effects. If you've ever sprinkled cinnamon on oatmeal or into your coffee, you might not realize you were doing more than adding flavor, you were supporting your metabolism. Cinnamon isn't a trendy superfood. It's been around for centuries, used in both ancient medicine and modern research. And what's remarkable is how effectively it helps the body manage blood sugar, especially when the signals between insulin and cells begin to break down with age. Several studies have confirmed this. One of the most cited was published in the journal Diabetes Care, where researchers gave people with type 2 diabetes varying daily doses of cinnamon, 1 gram, 3 grams, and 6 grams. After just 40 days, all groups showed significant reductions in fasting blood glucose. Not only that, but their LDL cholesterol and triglycerides dropped too, both key markers for heart disease risk. That's a powerful bonus, especially since older adults with high blood sugar often face elevated cardiovascular risk as well. What makes cinnamon so special is a compound called cinnamaldehyde. It's what gives cinnamon its signature aroma. But more importantly, it seems to enhance how insulin communicates with your cells. Think of it like improving the volume and clarity on a fuzzy radio signal. Cinnamon also slows the rate at which food empties from the stomach. That means sugar from your meal enters your bloodstream more gradually, giving your body more time to respond and regulate. Many seniors I've worked with report fewer sugar crashes and more even energy when they incorporate cinnamon consistently. It's not magic, it's chemistry, and it works best when paired with stable meals high in fiber, moderate in protein, low in refined carbs. However, it's important to understand the difference between types of cinnamon. Most supermarket brands sell cassia cinnamon, which is cheaper and more common, but it contains a compound called coumarin that, in large amounts, may stress the liver over time. For daily use, I always recommend Ceylon cinnamon, sometimes labeled true cinnamon. It's more expensive, but safer for regular intake. 1 teaspoon a day is plenty for most people, and you don't have to swallow it whole or take a capsule. Stir it into Greek yogurt, add it to your coffee grounds before brewing, blend it into a smoothie, sprinkle it on roasted vegetables, or even mix it with unsweetened cocoa. These small touches add up, especially when practiced daily. But let's be clear, cinnamon alone isn't going to cure high blood sugar. No single food will. The body is more complex than that. What cinnamon does is create a better environment in your body, one where insulin works more efficiently, where sugar enters more slowly, and where inflammation stays low. This is why I stress addition over restriction. It's not just about what you cut out, it's what you consistently include that builds a healing rhythm. And if cinnamon is one of the most powerful ingredients hiding in your spice rack, the next food we'll cover might be hiding in your garden or quietly growing on your kitchen counter. Let's talk about broccoli sprouts and why they're possibly the most underrated blood sugar support you've never tried. Section 3. Broccoli sprouts, small greens, big impact. If cinnamon is the spice that whispers gently to your blood sugar, broccoli sprouts are the green powerhouse that speaks loud and clear to your metabolism. Most people are familiar with mature broccoli, often steamed on the side of dinner plates, but few realize that broccoli sprouts, harvested just days after germination, are exponentially more potent when it comes to healing the body from the inside out. What sets them apart is a natural compound called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane isn't just another antioxidant. It actively supports the liver in reducing a hidden source of rising blood sugar, excess glucose production. This process, known as gluconeogenesis, tends to go haywire in people with type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance. The liver starts releasing sugar into the blood even when the body doesn't need it, especially overnight and between meals. A clinical trial published in Science Translational Medicine found that sulforaphane from broccoli sprout extract significantly lowered fasting blood glucose in adults with type 2 diabetes. The effects were especially strong in participants who were obese and had poor metabolic control. In fact, in some cases, the benefits were on par with metformin, one of the most commonly prescribed diabetes medications, without the side effects like nausea or fatigue. What's truly fascinating is how broccoli sprouts achieve this. Sulforaphane doesn't lower sugar directly. Instead, it tells your genes to behave differently. It activates a group of genes involved in detoxification, inflammation control, and blood sugar regulation. It's like flipping on your body's internal repair system, something that often slows with age, but can be gently reawakened with the right foods. Here's the best part: you don't need much. Just a small handful of broccoli sprouts, about a quarter cup, can contain 20 to 50 times more sulforaphane than a full serving of mature broccoli. That means you're getting maximum metabolic benefits in minimal volume. Perfect for seniors who may struggle with appetite or chewing tougher vegetables. For many of my older clients, growing their own broccoli sprouts has become a game changer. All it takes is a glass jar, a mesh lid, some broccoli sprouting seeds, and clean water. Within 4 to 5 days, you'll have a fresh, crunchy, peppery addition to your meals. And if growing them feels like too much, they're increasingly available at health food stores and some larger supermarkets. Just be sure to rinse well and store in the fridge. It's important to note that sulforaphane is heat sensitive. Cooking destroys much of its power, so always add broccoli sprouts to your plate after cooking on top of eggs, stirred into soups once they've cooled slightly, or tossed over salads. Some even blend them into smoothies or stack them into sandwiches. What I love about broccoli sprouts is that they're humble. They don't demand a diet overhaul or a complicated recipe. They quietly fit into what you're already eating, delivering massive benefits behind the scenes. For seniors who are already managing multiple medications or health concerns, this kind of passive healing is exactly what the body needs: gentle, steady, consistent support as we move from greens to something even more snackable. Let's talk about what happens when you grab a handful of the right kind of nuts, not just for your heart, but for your blood sugar too. Because not all fats are created equal, and some actually make your metabolism stronger. Section 4, Nuts, nature's perfect snack for blood sugar balance. After exploring the green potency of broccoli sprouts, let's turn to something crunchier: nuts. They're the kind of snack you can eat straight from your palm, but don't let their simplicity fool you. Nuts carry a metabolic punch that makes them one of the most underrated tools in blood sugar management. For older adults trying to stay energized without spiking glucose, a handful of the right nuts can go a long way. What makes nuts so effective is their macronutrient profile. They're low in carbohydrates, rich in healthy fats, and full of fiber and protein. This combination slows digestion and releases energy gradually. In practical terms, it means fewer glucose surges and crashes throughout the day, especially critical for seniors whose insulin sensitivity is already declining. A randomized controlled trial published in Diabetes Care examined 117 people with type 2 diabetes over a 3-month period. Those who replaced some of their starchy calories with mixed nuts, about 2 ounces daily, experienced significant reductions in HbA1c, a key marker of long-term blood sugar control. Even more impressively, the nut group also saw improvements in LDL cholesterol and inflammatory markers. That's important because blood sugar problems rarely travel alone. They often bring heart disease risk along with them. Among all nuts, certain varieties shine brighter for blood sugar support. Walnuts, for instance, are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation, a root cause of insulin resistance. Almonds are packed with magnesium, a mineral many seniors lack, which plays a critical role in glucose regulation. Macadamia nuts and pecans offer monounsaturated fats that improve satiety and reduce insulin spikes after meals. Pistachios, while slightly higher in carbs, are rich in antioxidants and may improve endothelial function, a measure of vascular health. What I often hear from older adults is worry about the calories. Yes, nuts are calorie dense, but they're also nutrient dense. Unlike empty snacks that raise blood sugar and trigger cravings, nuts help people feel full faster and for longer. A review published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition concluded that nut consumption is not associated with weight gain, and in some cases may even support weight loss due to better appetite control. The key is portion awareness. 2 ounces a day, roughly a small handful, is enough to deliver benefits without overdoing it. And how you eat them matters too. Raw or dry roasted is best. Avoid those coated in sugar, honey, or chocolate, which defeat the purpose entirely. Salted nuts are acceptable for most people unless you're under strict sodium restriction. For someone on a low-carb or heart-conscious diet, a little salt is less concerning than added sugar. You can work nuts into your meals in countless ways. Sprinkle chopped walnuts on oatmeal. Add slivered almonds to steamed vegetables. Blend cashews into a creamy salad dressing or smoothie, or simply portion out a small container to keep in your bag for when hunger strikes between meals. That simple step alone can prevent a blood sugar crash and the poor food choices that often follow. From a spoonful of cinnamon to a sprinkle of sprouts, and now a crunchy handful of nuts, you're starting to see a pattern: foods that speak the language of your body. They stabilize, nourish, and sustain. But now, let's shift toward a traditional ingredient that's often forgotten in modern diets: a tiny golden seed with ancient roots and surprising strength in blood sugar control: fenugreek. Section 5: Fenugreek, the forgotten seed with powerful potential. Sometimes the most powerful remedies come in the smallest packages. Fenugreek seeds, though often overlooked, have shown impressive effects on blood sugar control, especially for older adults looking for natural support. These seeds are rich in soluble fiber, which slows digestion and reduces blood sugar spikes after meals. More interestingly, they contain compounds that may improve how your body uses insulin. One of them, 4-hydroxyisoleucine, has been shown to stimulate insulin release and increase sensitivity in muscle cells. In a 2020 meta-analysis covering multiple studies, researchers found that fenugreek significantly lowered fasting glucose, post-meal sugar, and A1C levels in people with type 2 diabetes. It also improved cholesterol, especially triglycerides, a major concern for seniors with metabolic issues. Using fenugreek is simple. Just soak a teaspoon of seeds in water overnight and drink the water in the morning. Some people chew the softened seeds too. It's a small, affordable habit with surprisingly strong effects. If you prefer, supplements are available, but always check with your doctor, especially if you're on blood sugar medications, as fenugreek may enhance their effects. Up next, we shift from seeds to something more filling: protein. Because if you think meat raises blood sugar, you might be surprised by what science now says about fish, beef, and metabolic health. Section 6: Fatty fish, protein that protects your blood sugar. Not all protein is created equal. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel offer something most meats don't: omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats reduce inflammation, which plays a big role in insulin resistance. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who regularly eat fatty fish had better insulin sensitivity and lower fasting glucose. Omega-3s help your cells respond more efficiently to insulin, making it easier for sugar to enter cells and fuel the body, not linger in the bloodstream. Fatty fish also provide high-quality protein and key nutrients like vitamin D and B12, common deficiencies in seniors that affect energy and metabolism. Aim for 2 to 3 servings a week. Grilled, baked, or canned in olive oil are your best options. Avoid deep-fried or breaded versions that negate the benefits. If you can't eat fish, fish oil supplements may help, but fresh is always better when possible. Coming up, let's talk about beef. Yes, beef. When chosen wisely, it can stabilize blood sugar and support muscle mass, which naturally declines with age. Section 7: Grass-fed beef, fuel for strength and stability. Beef often gets a bad rap, but when you choose the right cuts, especially grass-fed, it can be a powerful part of a blood sugar-friendly diet. It's high in protein, low in carbs, and helps you feel full without spiking glucose. Grass-fed beef contains more omega-3s and CLA-conjugated linoleic acid, both linked to improved metabolic health. Protein from beef also boosts thermogenesis. Your body burns more calories digesting it and supports lean muscle, which is essential for blood sugar control. A study in Nutrition and Metabolism found that diets higher in protein and lower in refined carbs improved insulin sensitivity and led to better weight control. Stick to moderate portions, 3 to 4 ounces per meal. Lean cuts like top sirloin or round are great choices, and always pair meat with fiber-rich veggies, not starchy sides. Now that we've covered protein, let's return to a humble seed that's gained superstar status in recent years: chia. Section 8: Chia seeds, fiber that fights blood sugar spikes. Chia seeds may be tiny, but they're a powerhouse for blood sugar stability. Just 2 tablespoons provide 10 grams of fiber, enough to slow digestion and reduce post-meal sugar surges. When soaked in water or liquid, chia seeds form a gel-like texture that creates a slower, steadier release of energy. This helps you avoid those dreaded sugar crashes that lead to fatigue or cravings. A study in diabetes care showed that chia seed supplementation improved A1C, reduced inflammation, and supported weight control in type 2 diabetics. Chia is easy to add into your day. Stir into oatmeal or yogurt, blend into smoothies, or make chia pudding. Just remember to drink plenty of water. Fiber works best with hydration. Next, let's close with one of the most satisfying, blood sugar-friendly fruits around: avocado. Body section 9, avocados, healthy fats that heal. Unlike most fruits, avocados are low in sugar and high in monounsaturated fats, the kind that improves insulin sensitivity. They're also rich in fiber, potassium, and antioxidants, all supporting metabolic and heart health. A 2019 study published in Nutrients found that people who eat avocados regularly have better glucose control and lower insulin levels. Even small daily servings, just a quarter to half an avocado, can improve satiety and help prevent overeating later. Slice them onto eggs, blend into smoothies, mash into guacamole, or eat with a spoon and a dash of sea salt. It's one of the simplest ways to stabilize energy naturally. Let's wrap everything up with one powerful message: small, consistent choices really can rewrite your health story. Section 10, the pattern that heals. It's about consistency. If there's one message running through every food we've explored, it's this: healing your blood sugar doesn't require dramatic overhauls. It requires consistency. It's about building daily rhythms: spices that steady, seeds that soothe, proteins that protect. Every single choice adds up. A sprinkle of cinnamon in your coffee, a handful of nuts in the afternoon, some broccoli sprouts on your salad, a piece of salmon instead of breaded chicken. These aren't hard changes, but they are powerful. Studies consistently show that people who make even small, regular improvements to their meals see lasting reductions in A1C, better energy, and lower inflammation. The earlier you begin, the better your chances of reversing the trend. And even if you've struggled before, today is a fresh start. Now let's close with a short reminder of what you've learned and how to use it to live stronger, longer, and freer. Your journey to better blood sugar doesn't need to start with restriction, guilt, or confusion. It can begin with something as simple as what you put on your plate today. Because when you add the right foods: cinnamon, broccoli sprouts, chia seeds, fatty fish, avocados, you're not just eating differently, you're sending a new message to your body: heal, regulate, thrive. Each of these foods works in its own quiet, consistent way. They calm inflammation, support insulin function, and prevent those sharp, dangerous glucose spikes that wear the body down over time. And when combined into a lifestyle, something sustainable, not extreme, they help rebuild what age, stress, and modern diets have eroded. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. You just have to begin. Swap one processed snack for a handful of almonds. Add sprouts to your sandwich. Try chia pudding instead of sugary cereal. These are not sacrifices. They are upgrades: simple, flavorful, and deeply nourishing. And as you make these shifts, you may notice something else returning: energy, confidence, hope, a belief that your best years aren't behind you, they're being built, one smart meal at a time. So here's my gentle encouragement: keep going. Comment below and share which food you're most excited to try first. And if this video helped you feel more in control, more inspired, or just a little more hopeful, tap that subscribe button. Let's walk this road together. Your age is not your limitation, it's your invitation to live wiser, stronger, and more freely than ever before.